We're live.
We're live.
We're back.
Oi, oi.
Better and bigger than ever.
Oi, oi.
Yes.
Clearing our thoughts.
Hey.
We drank all the tea we needed to drink.
Now it's all
we're
about
back.
clear water.
Clear and concise thoughts.
Crystal.
Yes, crystal. So yeah, we're back again with
With a
boys,
friend.
Bobs, Saeed, and Ollie, Mr. Chan. And yeah, so why are we back? I'll pass over to Saeed because he's pretty excited.
Coming back, we decided the first thing we want to do is just acknowledge what the hell's happened this year. It's kind of been a madness. It's been quite a mess. We've had so many things. Like we've had Corona. We're all currently in like half a lockdown. I don't even know what we're in.
I
And
don't
then
think anyone knows what we're in anymore.
yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. And then at the moment, the current big news story is the whole Beirut thing. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, you do okay. You just jump straight in there. It's not fair enough. Beirut. Bit of a madness.
Yeah, it was shocking. The footage has been passed around online.
Yeah, have you seen the one with the bride?
The bride.
Yeah, the one
Oh,
that's
I heard
like
about
she's in the
that.
church or something, and she's like walking down the aisle.
No, there's one where she's posing.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a few of them. There's one where there's one taking a photo shoot.
Yeah, that one.
and it
That
happens,
one.
Yeah. And then there's one where they're actually inside, like I think it's a church or synagogue or something, and she's walking down the aisle, and we've got like the videographers there, and they catch it as it goes off. The whole church is shaking. It's mental. Imagine that you're getting married and
Your wedding day.
damn.
It's just mad because you know if you look on the map, that area's just gone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like the whole has just been blown.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, I saw the picture you sent me.
Yeah,
About,
bad, isn't it?
yeah, the
It's
before
mental.
and after. It's just the whole.
yeah, it's absolutely mental.
And then the amount of destruction it did, not just like in further out,
Yeah.
like because the the sound and glass shattering,
yeah,
cars being flipped over.
I think I read somewhere that 145 kilometers away was the impact like line. That's how far. This in a population-based like city, I guess. This is the third biggest explosion ever. I think after
after the nukes, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fourth biggest explosion period after there's that Russian one that they tested in the Tsar bomber.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it's they've done like comparisons of like how the blast radius compares to like say if it happened in Birmingham or in London.
have they?
Yeah, like how much the blast radius is up to Watford. It's like imagine it hit central London. Up to Watford is where
Central
Damn.
London or Central Birmingham?
Central London. So imagine it hit in central London, right? The blast radius goes up to Watford.
Jeez,
That's how much the damage radius rather is up to like Watford.
that's big.
It's crazy.
So imagine if you hit like central Birmingham, all of Birmingham is getting
Most of the West Midlands.
yeah.
Because is Watford outside the M25? I think Watford's outside the M25.
Yeah, just off I think.
Just going to quickly check. That's me typing away,
Fact
guys.
checking.
Fact checking for all our.
Fact checking for our viewers.
But yeah, it mental.
Watford is just outside the M25. Oof, that's huge,
Yeah.
man.
So it's just like it puts in perspective. Like imagine if that hit here.
Yeah, like it probably got all the way from Wolves, Telford, Cov. It'd take them all
Yeah,
out.
you're probably like maybe touching Coventry, maybe.
I don't know. It'd be pretty big though.
Yeah.
See, the thing is though, this discussion. Why was it there, guys?
What was it there? What you leading to conspiracy theories?
Oh yeah, well,
And why did it happen? Was it intentional or was it a freak accident?
because 2,700 tons of ammonia is just
Ammonium nitrate.
ammonium nitrate. Like that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah.
And I was looking this up, and apparently all it is a fertilizer. So why the hell, like, it's a fertilizer that's also used in explosions and stuff, but the main use is a fertilizer.
That's the main issue.
And why did they need so much of it? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Why wasn't it properly like kept away and stored?
Yeah,
Like
it
it
shouldn't
should've
have been kept there like that for so long or something. It should, once you get that delivery of that kind of hazardous material, it should just be gone straight away.
Exactly.
I think that's how, because think about it. Every country gets like must get deliveries of, hazardous chemicals
Of
which
course,
you
of
might need
course.
for stuff.
Do you guys want to hear a conspiracy theory about this?
Go on then.
Go on, hit me
So
up.
I heard, right, I've actually seen like videos of people saying eyewitnesses report there was planes flying in the sky that day.
Right.
And you know how the relationship between neighbouring states, no states will be named, but neighbouring states of Lebanon and Lebanon aren't the best, right?
Syria.
Yeah, but it's not Syria, are we? It's the other one. And basically, yeah, we might as well say the state now because there's other. But
The more contentious state.
they had a day of celebration on the
Right.
day of this explosion,
Right.
and there was also jets spotted in the sky above the place where the explosion happened.
Yeah.
So, was the cause a freak accident on the ground, or was the cause an actual intentional bombing on a place that they knew housed combustible materials?
But why would they? What would be their motivation to do so?
The state that we're talking about,
Yeah.
it has a lot of motivation to do so because it's at loggerheads with Lebanon,
Right.
especially concerning the fact that Lebanon
Lebanon.
is currently, obviously it's a contentious issue, but currently apparently supports Hezbollah and that kind of stuff.
Right. I
And
don't know what that is, but right.
it's a Middle Eastern organization that doesn't really like the state that we're talking about, and has been like rumors about it have been said to like they provide weapons to Hamas and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're not exactly on good terms. So it would make sense.
So if you're saying it came from the fighter jets,
Yeah, I don't know if they were
I don't know.
fighter jets. They just know they were planes.
yeah, because that would have been picked up then, wouldn't it?
That's the thing.
From like other like traffic control, or someone would have caught that on camera.
Apparently, though, eyewitnesses are saying it, and there's loads of them.
I don't know. I find it hard to believe.
I don't know, man.
This is my theory because what I read, like before the explosion happened, that there was some sort of there was this political trial going on in Lebanon to do with some political leaders that had ties with Syria, something like that.
I've heard about that.
So there was sort of some unrest kind of boiling up, and then my theory is that maybe someone just wanted to cause like some shit, and they just wanted to start, I don't know, maybe bomb something or whatever, and they just didn't realise how massive
How
it
big
would
the
be,
bomb would be.
and they majorly,
Overcompensate.
yeah.
Not lucky, but fortunate that it wasn't. That it was where it was, like on the port, not like further into the city.
But the fact is, like, even the fact that it's on the port, like, economically, it probably damaged the state more, the fact that it was on the port.
Yeah. So, no, I see where you're coming from.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So maybe,
but I'm just talking, just not economically, but more
like,
people's
human-wise.
lives. Yeah. It's like what 150 you said were dead, or something like that.
Yeah, 158 people
Something like that.
confirmed
Yeah.
dead.
And you imagine that number
might
would
be
just
more.
increase. Like I saw some videos of the hospitals after it happened, and they were like chock-a-block, patients everywhere, all over the floor. It's just about coping. It's like we were on the brink of like collapse with the coronavirus. Imagine if you had that here. And then,
True. I don't really know how Lebanon was doing with the coronavirus, but
Yeah. Man, I feel sorry for him. All I've heard is like just the fireworks thing. So I've seen the video, like you actually see the fireworks exploding in the actual, like, before it explodes in the fire.
what,
Yeah,
they were doing fireworks?
Yeah, there was like a large smoke going
Yeah.
off. That's why people wanted to film it. And then you see fireworks just popping off randomly.
Because it's next to like a facility that stores fireworks.
Yo, imagine that. Just watching it being like, yo, that's some cool fireworks. Boom.
You might be right in saying that. You were saying that there's like a celebration or something.
Yeah.
No, fireworks probably for that.
No, but the celebration wasn't in that state.
Oh,
Celebration
oh,
was in
okay.
the state.
It was a facility that stored fireworks,
Okay.
and they, I think that's what people thought were like, so it caught fire, and that's what was going up in smoke. And they were taking videos of it, and then all of a sudden, boom. There's a video, like, I don't know if you've seen it, it was on my Twitter. They're on a boat and they're recording it, and the explosion goes up, and then they see
The water.
the shockwave from the water, and it's just like 100 miles per hour coming out. It's like the craziest. It's like watching a movie.
It's actually mad.
I suppose they call cause a tsunami or something.
It might
Yeah,
have
the
done.
ocean.
I don't know.
Maybe on like a small level, but
Hmm.
it was something. And then you see all the before and after pictures, and you're like, bloody hell, it's going to take years to recover from that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like as you said, economically, obviously they might get loads of aid and relief from other countries, innit?
Yeah,
In-
like
in
the
support,
US has
so,
sent in
yeah.
15 million.
But then
Oh,
there's
actually, we've sent in 5.
what's that?
Sorry, what you were saying? Support the UK and US
Yeah.
have sent support.
Oh, so we are supporting. But then there's that argument where how much of the money will the people of Lebanon see that? Will it just go straight into the government's pocket?
Mm.
And then obviously they've got to rebuild the area, but then how much aid and relief are they going to give to the families who lost lives and support in the hospitals and stuff? That's the main thing, you know.
I agree with you, and plus it's like, you know, the support that other countries are providing. They can't provide that much because every country themselves are struggling because of this COVID thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This whole year it's just been mad. Like it starts off with Kobe dying in like Jan, and he's like, "Fuck me." Okay.
Yeah, did he die this year? I
Yeah,
thought it was
this
last
year.
year.
It's like this whole year just feels like
The wildfires, was that this year?
that was this year. Yeah,
Was that this year?
Australia wildfires.
Wildfires was
Yeah,
this
this
year.
year's just melded
mad.
together, man.
Kobe passed away, and then Corona came in. It was just like, screw you guys.
What else happened? Will Smith's wife cheated on him. That was pretty peak, man. It was pretty peak.
They she entangled.
She entangled
Oh,
on
no,
him.
she
I
didn't
apologise.
cheat.
The entanglements.
Still can't get over those entanglements, man.
There's a clear and obvious difference between entanglement and cheating.
It was basically cheating, but it sounds better. Sounds better when you say entanglement, bro.
Well, that was a nice way to round off the Beirut segment.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, wishing everyone the best in Beirut.
I've actually just found a list of stuff that's disasters in 2020.
Oh, go.
So 2020 California wildfires.
Yeah.
So that was like the LA, mainly in LA, wasn't it? California, you know, like
The Hollywood Hills.
yeah,
right?
and a
I
lot of
don't
celebrities
remember
lost
that.
like their houses and stuff.
Oh,
It was
really?
all burned down.
Oh, yeah.
That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a
think
show,
it was
but I remember
like
that.
Start of this year, I
Yeah.
think. I think it was end
Miley
of last year,
Cyrus lost her
start of
house.
this year. Did she?
Yeah.
I don't know, idea.
And the stuff going on in Yemen.
That
Yeah.
started this year.
We had the
But that didn't start
humanitarian
this year,
crisis.
but it was
Oh, it got
this
worse.
year.
Yeah,
It's been going on for quite a while, I think.
Yeah. What else we got?
And Puerto Rico. Oh yeah, Puerto Rico earthquakes, Amazon wildfires as well,
Yeah, I remember that one.
and yeah, obviously the Australian wildfire. So what does this all mean? Though? Is this the
World
Earth telling
coming
us
to an end.
something?
World's coming to an end.
Is this like the start of the end or something?
You know, I sat there New Year's Eve, and I was like, you know how everyone's like, oh, this year, it's going to be the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually sat there New Year's Eve, I was like, you know what, this year's actually going to be the year. So things are looking up at work, you know, might be looking at promotion and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, things are going to be looking good this year. And then fucking going to India this year as well. I haven't been on holiday in ages, so that'll be sick. And then obviously a week before I'm going to go to India, my visa gets cancelled because of Rona. So it's just been, yeah, man.
It's kind of mad.
It's been a great year.
To be fair, we dodged a bullet there.
I know. Maybe.
Yeah, imagine you were stuck in India at this
Yeah,
time.
the lockdown hit just before
Million
we went to
tests
India.
a day.
We would have been getting battered by the Punjab police if we had gone to India. So
I've seen some videos.
Yeah.
Like there's this police officer, right? And he walks up to.
you can't say that.
You can. It's fine. He walks up to.
If you want to money, okay.
He walks up to.
Yeah, you might have to bleep that out.
Yeah,
Okay, don't worry about that.
that's
Don't worry
fine.
about that. And he walks up to.
We're not lying.
See, you know what it is, yeah? In this podcast, we're very honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you could
honestly,
You're talking amongst friends, innit? And
Yeah, exactly.
you know, we know.
We
the
clear
score.
thoughts, you know what I mean, Harvey?
Clear, very
Got no filters on right now.
clear race.
But there's this police officer of a race that will not be mentioned,
Yeah.
and he goes up to a guy, he's like, yo, why are you not wearing a mask? And the guy's like, I don't feel like it. And next thing you know is he just starts lamping him. He just starts going boom, 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 and then he gives him a mask, like, wear it now.
Yeah.
And then the guy just runs away. And it's just like, flipping out, man.
They were getting their Dundal stick,
Yeah.
and they were just chasing people like off the streets, like get back into your house.
What I found was weird though is that fair enough. I do expect that from that police that they'll beat people up like with sticks and stuff, but. I saw videos of you telling them to do exercise, like drop and give me 10 push-ups, do some squats.
Improve that immune system.
I mean,
Get healthy.
surely if you see people sweating in front of you, that will just spread corona.
Yeah, it would make sense that it's not the most hygienic of conditions, but
Yeah, India's been defeated.
yeah.
It really is.
And it's been surprising of how each country has dealt with it differently in terms of when to go straight into lockdown or when to hold off for a bit, see how it plays out. I mean,
on the face of it, it looks like the countries that have been more proactive with it
Did better.
have come out better for it. So like New Zealand are
Germany.
yeah, but they've seen a spike in cases, I think.
So's New Zealand.
Yeah.
They've seen the second wave.
But New Zealand is like so minimal.
I feel like
it's negligible.
in
New
Europe,
Zealand.
out of the major states, I think Germany's probably handled it the
Yeah,
best.
of all of us, yeah. To be fair, I think France as well, right?
I'm not sure how France did
Because
it.
France, I've barely heard like a peep from.
it's mainly like Spain and Italy that were
Spain,
worst
yeah.
affected in
That's
Europe, wasn't it?
Spain, well, it was Spain and Italy, and then we came along with like, you know what, lads, we'll show you how it's not.
We did it awful. Like, honestly,
Just wait too long.
you know what it is? Initially, I thought maybe it's going to work. But have you guys heard the fact that Boris Johnson, I remember reading an article about it, missed multiple Cobra meetings about Corona.
Yeah,
On one of them, he was on holiday.
yeah.
And the other one might have been he had COVID.
Like, just imagine that. Like, his ministers are calling him, we've got this national emergency. Like, I'm pretty sure Cobra's only for national emergencies, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
And they're like...
So it's like one of the highest level.
Yeah. And they're like, yo, we've got this, and he's just like, don't stress, I got this, I'll sort it out when I come back.
It's like because they said they had a plan, but the plan was so gradual in taking effect. I mean, we should have went lockdown straight away. Really, I think initially China should have went lockdown, like mega lockdown straight away as soon as anything got out. I mean, because there were warnings.
Apparently,
They
that
did,
market's going to close. You know that one
The
market?
one where it came out.
Yeah, because that market has had like 3 or 4 diseases come out of it. It's had Corona, it's had SARS, it's had MERS. They're all similar like diseases.
But
And-
from that one place.
Yeah, and all from that one place. And there was a bunch more, but I can't remember them. But the fact that, and I was looking into this, right? You know, that market, it's like a wet market. They have like exotic animals from all over the world. And you know, because Chinese people believe in, I'm not generalizing, by the way, this is a legitimate reason for that market still being open. You know, a lot of really rich Chinese people frequent that market for rare animal parts. So like they believe, like, I don't know, a certain salamander's tail cures impotency, or a certain, you know, bat's wing gives you longer life, right? And because that small group of really rich, powerful Chinese people hold that belief really strongly, every time that market's been closed in the past, they've lobbied and opened it up again.
Yeah.
Even after SARS, MERS, what else came? A previous Corona strain. They all came from that market, and they've kept it open because of the financial implications and the economical power that those people wield. Now they've closed it like, I don't know, a gajillion times. And now the government have said we're not going to open it again. So see how it plays out.
Yeah, no, it definitely should be lessons learned, really. And as you're saying, the market, I've seen pictures of the market. It's just weird, exotic animals stacked on top of each other. Animals that should not even be touching each other.
It's ridiculous.
Because disease spreads, you know, from animal to animal. And I think the main thing is, I think for humans, we mainly get diseases from like pigs and stuff.
Depends, then.
Yeah,
Depends.
that's where we get it mainly from.
It's like swine flu was from pigs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then you have bird flu that was from, and then apparently Corona from bats. But the thing is, humans get bacteria and stuff and viruses from animals all the time. But when they get like a genetic mutation that lets them infect us, that's when it gets really bad. But yeah, hopefully the world will impose sanctions on China and tell them to close their market and sort it out.
China will just do whatever they want.
They need to fix up after this. They've legit destroyed economies around the world by doing this. It's one little disease.
I don't think you can blame China.
You can blame the government of China. I'm sorry, you can definitely. You can't blame Chinese people, obviously, but you can blame the government. It's just like, it's a huge oversight.
Well,
But yeah. See, like how we handled it. We've still got half the country in lockdown. Like up north.
yeah, but at this point, is anyone really adhering to it? I mean,
I don't know. Everyone's wearing masks now.
not really.
Not really. I've been into some places where people aren't wearing masks.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird because some people they're not taking notice, they don't care, and you hear and you see all them like illegal raves going on,
Yeah,
stuff
I've heard
that.
about
I'm
that.
like, what are you doing? And
Well, some don't wear masks because they've got an excuse. This is what they said, they're asthmatic, so they don't have to wear one. But I think in supermarkets they don't challenge anyone because then they don't know whether someone actually has a condition or not, which stops them from wearing the mask.
I heard that you can't enforce it on someone.
Yeah,
Like you can't call someone and say, "Hey, you're not wearing a mask."
put a mask on.
You know, but it's like the sensible thing to do is wear a mask.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, unless, as you said, they've got a legitimate reason. But it's nothing really wearing a mask. I mean, it is hard to understand people working wearing a mask because you do get hot, and it's just I think people wearing glasses. Your glasses steam up, don't they?
Yeah, they
When
do.
you're wearing a
They
mask.
do. They do.
So that can be hard. But
So if you pop into a shop, it's literally 5 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's like what's the big deal?
it's not that difficult.
But so the thing that I find baffling about the whole thing is why are you making people wear masks when towards the end, seemingly the end of the lockdown period, when you should have imposed it at the start.
I feel like
in
it's because
March.
now stuff's opening up, and so masks reduce transmission.
lockdown's easy.
Yeah, but it should.
And then you have
Surely it would have
500,000
made
people
more
at
sense to, like-
beach.
Oh, the beach, yeah. Well, they don't look at that. They look
There's
at
no consistency.
No, but they don't look at people at the beach. They look at people celebrating Eid or getting together like that.
Oh yeah, they banned the
Yeah.
peak times. But to be honest, though, the banning of the religious festivities, I don't think we're wrong. I think the real issue there was when they did it.
Oh yeah,
The night before, they were like, "Guys, tomorrow you can't go out."
Yeah, that was a bit fishy. That was suspect. That was.
This government, they've been doing that consistently, though. The people who are on holiday in Spain, while they're on holiday, they're like, "Guys, you can't come back. 2-week quarantine when you
Yeah,
come
because
back."
there's that brief period. It was like, okay, Spain and these places they need tourism, they need money, so people started booking to go over, and then
While they
the
did,
UK just says,
we changed
"Oh,
our
you
mind.
gotta do a 2-week quarantine and all that." People will be stuck there.
That's the risk about still going abroad. Like you've seen a few people go, and it's like, okay, fair enough. If you're willing to take the risk.
It's not even that. The government just needs to be more transparent, man. I honestly think Boris is going to get a lot of stick after this ends.
Oh yeah.
Did you put the light on?
Oh, the light.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of stick.
Yeah.
And it's going to get to the point where he's going to have to answer for the way he's handled it.
Well, he's. I like how Brexit's just kind of like gone under the carpet and like no one's really talking about it.
You know, it's mad. The other day on the BBC, there was an article about Brexit. And you know how BBC has like top 10 articles on their feed? It was like the 9th one down. Like, no one
Really?
cares about Brexit right now.
It'll be back. The news on Brexit once
Everyone's
maybe
focused on
next
COVID.
year.
I reckon by the end of this year, because I think that's when the deadline is.
But surely
Thingy.
they'll give us more time,
I don't
considering the
know.
circumstances.
God knows.
And it's where businesses will want to know what the score is, like
Yeah.
how to proceed and stuff like that.
I don't know. I'm just over it all.
But you know, one thing our country has done well, in defence of my
Done
boy,
well.
my boy
Yeah.
Boris, is the economic help it's given individuals. Like, some people have struggled, definitely, but some states around the world haven't had a furlough scheme that's as robust as ours. Businesses have got loans and grants given to them. They're extending furlough all the way to October, I think they said.
Yeah, October,
and
yeah.
it's stuff like that. Like, some stuff they've done awfully, but some stuff, like, I don't know how the economy is going to recover, but this help out to eat out scheme, I think that's a really good initiative as well. Do you know what I mean? Is it help out to eat out? Eat out to help out?
Eat out to help out. I
yeah.
think
That one.
Yeah.
But the government has done some really good strides in terms of the way has taken some really good strides in terms of
In trying to like reopen the economy and keep it sustained. Yeah.
and help people out.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunately some people are like rinsing it.
That's going to happen in every
Yeah,
situation.
It's like, little do they know they actually have to pay that money back.
That's the thing, yeah.
But they've also given out
once
grants.
this is all over, the amount of
Yeah.
maybe
No,
tax
the
and
thing
stuff.
is, like, so say if you take a business grant, right? When it gets paid to you, you have to declare it on your business turnover.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to taxing,
But you got to pay tax on it.
yeah,
Oh.
So is it really a grant?
yeah. So
Yeah, that's actually clever.
so
though.
people will be getting like 50-60 grand in grant money,
Hmm.
but that gets added onto their turnover, and they'll just end up getting taxed.
Oh, what's the business tax like? 12%, 20%.
It's different depending on how much you earn.
Oh.
So, yeah, don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's still 4 months left to go this month.
Of this
year.
month, yeah.
This year. You know, it still could all go to well, it's already gone to shit. It could just go.
How can it get any worse?
Oh, yeah. Don't say that. They'll find a way.
But yeah.
Yeah, this year's a write-off on everyone's plans.
Yeah, it's been a mess. Apart from that, what else has been in the news, guys?
Well, talking about Pakistani people, there was that Pakistani. Was he not Pakistani?
No, there was this one guy. I know
the
you're on
Middle
about-
Eastern.
Yeah, the Middle Eastern guy.
See, I wrote in my notes, Middle Eastern or Asian guy. So
yeah,
that's one of the two.
it's been catching a lot of traction on social media recently.
You're gonna have to fill me in because when you were explaining it earlier, I kind of zoned out.
Oh, thanks for that. Whoops. Makes sense.
Yeah, for our listeners.
So yeah, there's this story that's been on social media a lot recently. It's been getting a lot of traction about a gentleman named. Let me pull up his name, guys. His name was Mr. Abbasi, I think. Yeah, and it was the way the police handled his situation. And I think the reason it's been highlighted so much at this time is because of all the stick that the police have been getting with dealing with minorities and stuff. But just to give a quick context, so this guy, he's been a consultant for the NHS for about 30 odd years. His wife's also, I don't know if she's a consultant, but she's a doctor. And they had a daughter who had like a rare genetic life condition. She was really unwell. And what's happened is her treatment plan they disagreed with, and in previously they've disagreed with her treatment plan, and the treatment that they've suggested to the consultant has been taken on board, and their treatment was better than the treatment the consultant suggested. And obviously that's fair enough. Like, different doctors have different opinions, different treatments.
Just quickly, sorry to cut you off. Who says the treatment plan's better?
Oh, she recovered. So the doctor was like, she's going to die this week.
Yeah.
We're going to turn off her machine.
Yeah.
And the parents were like, let's not turn off her machine. Let's try this treatment plan. And the consultant was like, okay, let's try it. Don't worry about it. They tried it and she lived for like another 6 months.
Okay.
So then, same situation happened again. The consultant was like, I'm turning off her machine this week.
Yeah.
And the parents researched it. Because like, it's understandable that if they're doctors, they're going to like do next level amount of research for their daughter. Like, probably more than the consultant who's looking after her. Like, nothing against the consultant who's looking after her, but naturally he has like a ward of patients, maybe multiple wards. They have like one daughter, do you know what I mean? So they've done like an extensive amount of research, and they come back to the consultant. They're like, we've got a better plan, can we talk about it? And the consultant's like, I disagree with you. We can't do anything to help her, and we're going to turn off her machine at the end of this week. So they get into a argument, and the gentleman, he leaves, and as he's leaving, he brushes past the consultant who's in charge of his daughter's care. And obviously it was a very heated discussion, and the consultant decides to call the police for him being aggressive. So the police come down, and they speak to his wife, and his wife's like, apologies and all that, the situation's calmed down. It's more or less resolved, like everyone's calmed down now. There's no more of a situation. The police we want to speak to Mr. Abbasi. So I don't know where he's from, I'm not going to lie. I think he's Middle Eastern, I might be wrong. But the police then go to his daughter's bedside where he's sitting with his dying daughter, and they're like, we need to speak to you. And he explains the situation. He's like, I still disagree with the consultant, and I am going to raise it with him, but at this point I don't really want to go on a lengthy discourse with you guys, and let's just leave it there. And the police keeps repeatedly asking him to go outside. So then after quite a long discussion, he disagrees, and the police are like, we have to remove you from the hospital. And he's like, my daughter's dying on the bed, like, have a bit of empathy. And after quite a discussion, there's body cam footage, so you see all this. It's quite shocking footage, to be honest. They eventually pull him away from his daughter who's dying, tie up his arms, tie up his legs, and then drag him away. And it's actually awful, considering the fact that he's a flipping NHS consultant who's been helping the system for God knows how many years. His daughter, even if he wasn't a consultant or someone who knew about treatment, his daughter's dying on the bed, do you know what I mean? But the police tie him up and drag him away, holding his arms and legs, and they're like, and then he has a heart attack while they're dragging him away, and he's a heart patient, so he's like, guys, can you give me my medication, which is in my pocket? And one of the police ladies, she's like, "Oh, shut up, you animal," or something along those lines. The word "animal" was used, and it got a lot of like, "What the hell?" And they don't give him the medication. He proceeds to have a heart attack, needs emergency life-saving treatment the next day.
Yeah.
Recovers, and then sues the police and tries to sue the hospital. He succeeds in suing the hospital because they wouldn't release footage and they wouldn't allow the case to come forward.
Yeah.
But the day before the trial, his daughter actually dies, which is actually so peak.
Yeah.
So now his daughter's passed away, which is what it is, I guess. And he's pushing the case against the police, and he's just putting it all over social media. And I think it's a really interesting case because it's kind of ridiculous, especially with everything that's been happening in the media, with how police is treating people. It's good to highlight.
What I was going to ask them then, but I forgot.
I mean, going back to what you said when they're doing the treatment. So you said that they followed the treatment that the parents suggested. She lived for another 6 months.
Something like that.
And then she's in that same state again, but she was going to die. I mean, as you said, the doctors, they got other patients to worry about and stuff like that. And then at that point, the doctor's going to be real with you and say, look, even if you do save her again, it's going to be the same situation where she'll be on her deathbed again, maybe.
No, that's probably true.
And then it's understandable from the parents' side where they're going to do whatever they can to save her.
You know what it is like from a doctor's perspective. Even if a doctor can give a treatment plan where a patient lives for another 1 day, even if they know the next day they're going to fall back to that stage, they should still go forward with that treatment plan because they want to try saving life. Do you know what I mean? But
was this during the whole lockdown period?
It was really recent. It was I can check. It was literally 2 weeks ago.
The hospitals are so strict when it comes to actual visitation and people being at the hospital.
But there are exceptions if a loved one's about to die or something.
Right at the end, then they don't make exceptions. But even then, they'll only let 1 or 2 people in.
They let 3 people in. The girl's brother, mother, and father, I think. But it was about a week or 2 ago.
Damn, it's really recent.
Yeah, look. So just skipping through it.
So when you hear about that, you automatically think that the police, what they did was wrong. So would you say that the police need to be more mindful of people in those
common
situations?
Sense, really, isn't it?
I don't know. In that situation, I feel like it's one of those situations where it's like you're saying, you need to be more mindful of humanity. Even if someone is, and I do not in any position support being disruptive or anything like that, but even if someone is being a little bit angry or a little bit stubborn or disruptive, if their daughter's dying, it's their only daughter, she's 6, give them a little bit of leeway. Give them a minute, just be like, we need you to work with this. You can be a bit more
understandable as to why they're being.
But then also, I would say, because say if the police want to talk to you, if they just said, look, we just want to talk to you, what's the harm in just popping out for a bit, have a quick chat, coming back in? I mean, obviously I don't know the situation, what was going on really.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think the reason he refused to leave was because she could have died at any moment. So he was like, I want to be next to her if she dies.
Yeah.
And because his wife was initially next to her as well.
Yeah.
But then she went out, like you're saying, to have that chat, to be like, I'll pop out. I get it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we need him to come out as well. I don't know. Emotions are high. It's
maybe
just one
from
of
the
those
police
times.
perspective, they thought, okay, did you say that the doctors were saying that he was in distress or?
We don't know who called it in. I think a nurse maybe or a consultant.
Yes, and the police probably thinking this guy he's causing a disturbance, and we want to know why. It could be
that's
without
valid.
thinking about the doctor, they'll just want to get that sorted, and then
I don't know though. I feel like that's one of those places where I get you, and that makes sense, but you just need a bit more discrepancy.
It
is what it is. But I think that's our update on current affairs.
Yeah, I think 2020 just shows people need to use a bit more common sense. That's one of my big takeaways from this year.
Yeah, because people, whatever the government says, people will follow. Especially in America. I mean, have your own common sense. Look after your own family. Look after your own people as well. Yourself. Do what you can.
I tell you what, America's just.
America's joke, man.
Mate, rather
it's actually just a meme. Have you guys seen that? For our viewers, we will post a link. The Trump with the reporter, and she's like, "Can I speak to you?" And she's like, "Why are you blaming China?" And then he turns around and he's like, "I blame China." And then she's just like, "Are you saying this to me because I'm Chinese?" And he's just like, next reporter. And then the other lady comes in, she's like, can she finish the question? He's like, next reporter. And then the next one takes like a few seconds to say a question. He's like, end of press conference. He just walks off. And it's like a little kid, and it's so funny.
Just do you reckon he'll win?
I think he will.
Yeah.
I actually think
You
he
think
will.
so?
Yeah.
Then they're
Americans are
really.
dumb, man.
I feel like he's
really
going
gone
to
wrong
sneak
then.
it again.
I think he's gonna win, man. Americans are dumb.
Honestly, I don't think he'd win the first time, and he won like
Quite.
fairly
Wait,
convincing.
who's against him though? That's what matters. I can't believe Bernie stepped down again.
Hillary. Oh, you mean now?
Yeah, Joe Biden.
Yeah, Bernie stepped down for
Joe
him,
Biden?
right? Yeah,
Joe
Joe
Biden.
Biden.
Yeah, he was Barack's vice, wasn't he?
But he's been like fluffing.
I honestly
All the
think
way through.
Bernie could beat
And he's
him, but
old.
Bernie
Oh, no,
keeps.
Bernie
sitting
could,
there.
but
I don't know why he doesn't go all the
not
way.
because he doesn't get the support he needs.
You know, Bernie is America's Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, but
Legit.
Yeah, and there were other good candidates, like young candidates that are promising, and they were political
And no one
candidates,
was
not
given
just
a
like
chance.
celebrities
Yeah.
or businessmen, and they all dropped out because they weren't doing well. I mean, if they were still in it, I think one of them could.
That's possible.
Won.
so
It's expensive, isn't it? Like the election in America
To run a
takes a
campaign.
ridiculous
Yeah.
amount.
the multi-millions. But I think the last election was the lesser of two evils. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. This one's the exact same. Joe Biden's not really much better than Donald Trump. So it's like
He's probably better than Trump. I don't know.
yeah.
See, for
Anyone's
America,
Anyone's better than Trump.
no, but for America, Trump's actually done decent. Like everyone hates on him, but
I
for
think
his country,
I think he started off in terms of because he has that business mindset, and he's got experience in business and economics. That's his thing. But then sometimes he can't help himself. He's that character he is. He's a bit of a clown. I actually think he's a better comedian than president, because comedians love him. He's like he basically does what comedians do.
He gives them
he
material.
says what he wants.
he's a meme.
Yeah,
he's more of a meme
yeah,
than
he's a
Drake.
meme. Yeah.
And Drake's been a meme for time. Hey guys, just putting that out there. If anyone likes Drake, I apologize, but Drake's also a meme. Drake is overrated.
What?
I mean, yeah, Drake's a meme, but we still respect him.
We don't respect Trump.
Man. But talking about Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
And,
He had like his whole downfall because apparently he was anti-Semitic.
apparently. But yeah, talking about anti-Semitism. Man like Wiley. I don't know if it's man like Wiley anymore. But Wiley's been in the news.
You know what it is about that? I don't get why it's such. I don't get why it's such a big deal. I'm just going to say it like
you don't
it
get
is.
why racism.
No,
what
I don't
happened?
get why-
He was being racist towards Asians, yeah.
No, Jews.
He's
He's being anti-Semitic.
He's been a bit.
He's been off his head for years,
Yeah,
man.
he's been questionable in what he said, and
He
What
said
he
like
posted.
some questionable stuff, like about plenty of races before in the past, but this is the big one. Like him being anti-Semitic. I can't really remember entirely what he said in his tweets and whatnot. But yeah, he's at the moment being cancelled by everyone.
cancel
on every
culture.
platform.
Cancel culture.
I think been banned on Twitter, banned on Instagram, banned on YouTube. Yeah, he's just getting banned left, right, and centre.
So would you say he's a racist?
I was just going through some of his tweets. I don't think he's a racist, Avi. I think he's a. Yeah, he's a racist.
He's a racist.
I thought about it and I realised.
So in that nanosecond, what changed your mind?
Because I realised the word I was trying to describe with my wording was racist. No, because I don't know why, but you don't normally associate race with religion.
Yeah.
But in this context, because Judaism is associated with a specific race, because I'm pretty sure to be an Orthodox Jew, you can only be born one. You can't convert to Orthodox Judaism. So it is a race, so racism fits. That was my thought process.
Okay,
Yeah, but the reason why I'm not say I've got it as Wiley versus Kate Hopkins, like it's some big showdown. But the reason why is because I saw, as you do on Twitter, I mean, it's like, you know how they've been doing the real villain and the other villain meme that's been going around.
Yeah.
And no, you haven't. Okay.
So who's the real villain?
So
Katie Hopkins, I'm guessing.
yeah, it's like the media villain is Wiley, the real villain is Kate Hopkins. Because like when you put the two together, like you see what the shit Wiley's been saying, and then in the last couple of weeks, and you see what Kate Hopkins been saying for the last just let that car go, thank you. 7-8 years on like a mainstream platform media. It's like, how come she gets away with the amount of shit that she says?
And she's probably the most hated person.
In
the UK.
She's like literally probably the most hateful person. She's racist towards everyone, and like she's actually on record saying so much shit.
Legit.
Maybe because the media, there's not much of a story, because with Chaos you know what you get. You know, she like backs herself, and everyone knows how she is. With Wiley, you kind of,
you know what it is,
calling someone out.
Like you're saying though, Wiley in the past, right, has said stuff about other races, other people, and he hasn't been cancelled this bad. As soon as it was anti-Semitic, it got blown up.
This is what we were talking about the other day. It's like I saw a clip on some other podcast. I don't know the name. I can't remember. So I apologize if somehow you're listening to this. But they were like, if you're anti-Semitic, your bar to apologize and like make up for what you've done is like up here. But everyone that's listening, I'm like raising my hand to like.
He's raising his hand really
very
high.
It's a high bar.
It's a very high bar. Yeah. But say
he's
you're
really
like,
tall as well.
You're racist against Asian people, black people. The stuff you have to do to like get back and not be cancelled is much lower. So it's like, why is there such a difference? Why if you're anti-Semitic,
why is it worse?
Yeah, why is it worse to be anti-Semitic than it is to be racist to other people of race?
Faiths, all of that.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it because Jews run the world?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think so.
I'm not going to come and say it as it is.
No, because it's like the one race having a privilege over another one, isn't it?
But do you think it also leads into like going back in time to like the Holocaust and whatnot, like how they were treated back then? There's a bit of like
Jews are very persecuted people.
Yeah, there's like
it's a touchy subject.
Yeah,
it's a difficult one because Jews have been persecuted a lot through history, but there are other people who have also been persecuted an extreme amount.
It's not just the one over the other.
Do you know what I mean? They're not exclusive in the rights of their persecution. Like, you know, Kurdish people, to name one. Like,
Majid.
That's actually what came to my mind. But as a random people, because they've been persecuted a lot as well. But for Jewish people, the bar is so much higher, and I'm not sure why that is. Is it because our society is built around some very, very important people who are Jewish, or?
Don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, if Wiley was to say, obviously apologise and all that stuff and change his ways, would you care? I mean,
no.
If you look at his career,
I personally don't really care about his
he's
tweets.
kind of on the decline, isn't he? I mean, was he
like
the godfather of grime?
He was at one point.
Yeah, but now like we've got so many.
He never kept up.
Artists.
He never kept up.
The game has changed.
Like, you have that beef with Stormzy, like 4 or 5 months this year, I think.
Yeah.
That beef with Stormzy, that kind of brought him a bit more relevancy. But just on like that point we were talking about, like being cancelled and how hard it is to like recover to that bar. Like we mentioned Jeremy Corbyn, like people slandered him as he's anti-Semitic, he's this, but it was never really proven that he was anti-Semitic. But that was the thing, like people beat him over the head with, is like, you're anti-Semitic, and he just never recovered from that. And like you saw what happened in the election with him.
Yeah, it didn't go well for him.
Yeah. So it's just,
I mean, how would he prove that he's not? That's anti-Semitic. It's a
I've never
thing
seen,
to do.
but there's a difference between being anti-Semitic and being anti-Zionist.
Oh.
And
what's that?
So Zionism is like.
Quick look up.
No. I'm looking for the dictionary definition, but it's like a type of Jewish people that perceive a certain, portray a certain
like
ideal.
Israel is like the be all end all, pretty much.
And
that's what anti-Zionism is. Essentially, just being against that. He
was anti-Zionist though.
Who? Jeremy Corbyn?
Yeah, but he wasn't anti-Semitic. Because
there's a clear distinction. Being anti-Semitic is like you're anti-Jew basically. Being anti-Zionist is like you're against Israel.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it is.
That's the difference, because I just looked this up. A Zionism is a movement among the Jewish people that push for the establishment of a Jewish state.
Yeah.
That is the original Israel. So that includes like annexing Palestine and the West Bank and all that, and Gaza and all that stuff. And Jeremy Corbyn actively protested against that. And even like when he was in power, like, because there was lots of human rights violations back a day or recently that have been done there, and he called them out. And because of him being anti-Zionist in this situation, they pushed him as anti-Semitic. And it didn't work out well for my boy Jazza.
I really didn't.
I'm actually really disappointed that he never.
Imagine there's a timeline where he's like Prime Minister somewhere, and it's just
alternate universe.
Yeah, it's all,
he'd fix the world, man. Him and Sanders.
It's kind of crazy though. Like you look at it, and he's like, okay, he said now we might look at doing 4-day working week in the future. We want to make free broadband for people, so it's like, have more.
I think they might still do that, you know.
Yeah, but it's just like funny to look back. People like looking at that 7 months ago and saying, "It's fucking bullshit. You can't have a 4-day working week. You can't get free broadband for everyone."
And now
it's like the amount of people working from home that need access to good broadband. The 4-day working week, everyone's on flexible working now because of the coronavirus.
Or you're on furlough.
Yeah, so it's just like it's one of those. And the thing with flexible working is that it'd be interesting to see how many like city offices and my offices all over the place decide to close down and just work remotely.
Yeah,
because it might be best for them, for the business.
Yeah. So why would you pay like 100? Because I was going to do a lease for a company in London. We were going to open a restaurant, and they were going to pay like 250 grand annual rent, and like literally Rona hit, and they were like, nah.
Rent's extortionate. Yeah.
No, the thing is like for businesses like a restaurant, fair play.
A restaurant wasn't a good example.
Yeah, but like
I'm talking about like
a call center, for example.
Yeah.
If it's flexible and this model they've been forced to use works for them, I think it's plausible to see people just saying, "Yo, we don't need to." They carry on doing it from home.
People, like law firms, most of them been working from home. It's just easier.
I think you could.
Yeah, because we have the technology capabilities for everyone to work from home now.
Exactly.
And obviously, you kind of do need some support from the business or government to provide, to get the stuff you need to work from home. But I think the big thing that you're missing when you're not at work is what I found this week when I go back to work from home, is you need your people around you, just to discuss business, and because it's all well like chatting on Teams or something like that, but you need to have that face to face.
But do you think that's because your work's more group project based?
Yeah, but isn't all
if you're in a call center,
call center. Like, say if you're having problems with something at a call center, and you got you got your mates beside you, say, "Oh, this is how I did it."
That's valid.
No, valid point.
We're gonna have to see what businesses do.
Be interesting. We'll see. We will see.
The business might say to the government, like, "Look, we need our people to come to the office." I think the business.
It's not to say that they'll close like the office fully down.
Yeah.
So people they might just get smaller premises. It's like, do they need a lavish 10-story building when really they could just do with a smaller office where people rotate and come through?
You're saying that. It reminds me of this really. It's quite a funny clip I watched. There's this really rich American businessman on YouTube, right? And he buys a company, and the company's job is like printing mats or paper. I can't remember, making a certain product. And when he buys the company, he buys it for like something million. I can't remember, like 100 something million. And he goes to the main headquarters, and he goes there, and he's talking to all the people, and he's like, "Guys, I can't figure out what you do." Like genuinely, like I'm talking to the CEO, I'm talking to the CFO, whatever they're called, and he's like, "So what happens in this floor? What happens at this floor?" And the guy's breaking it down for him, and the new owner's just really confused, and he's like, "I don't understand. Can you really explain to me what's happening here?" And the guy's like, basically, don't worry about it. The business is making a profit. Don't stress. And the guy's just like, no. I want to see every part of this. It's a habit of mine. Like, I want to break it down. And he's like, okay, what do you want to know? So he's like, where's the marketing? Where's all this? And he goes through it all, and he's like, I'm really, really confused. Like, I still can't understand what you actually add to the business. So he says to the guy, I want to meet the supplier. The guy says, the supplier's too busy. He never meets anyone. He just takes quotes. So then the guy waits, and then after like a week, he's like, forget this. Like, I'll just message the supplier. I'm the owner. He messages the supplier. The supplier's like, yeah, man, sure, come down, please. Whenever you're free, you're our biggest customer. The guy goes down, and he's like, I just wanted to speak to you about the process. And the guy's like, I'm going to be honest with you. All the marketing is done on my site. All the supply, all the production is done on my site. The guy's like, so what are all the guys on Wall Street, New York, like, not New York, sorry, Wall Street doing? He says Wall Street in his thing, and that's why I'm trying to reference what he said. And he's like, you know what, I don't know. And he says to the supply, like, are you serious? And the supply's like, I'm going to give you some advice, but I don't know if you got the balls to go through with this. And he's like, go on. He's like, just fire the whole building. They're doing nothing. And the guy's just like, you know, he's just like, forget this guy. He flies back. He goes back home, and he's like, he's really confused because that guy's words are playing in his head. So he's like, you know, I have to think about it. So he hires a consulting firm. And he hires a consulting firm and he's like, listen, I need you to just figure out what everyone in this building does. Like, they cost me like 20 million a year. Can you just figure out what the hell they're all doing? So this consulting firm, they charge him like 500 grand for like a 3-week consultancy program. They come back with like literally, he explains it as like 5 dossiers of paperwork. And he's like, okay, so you know what they do now, right? And the guy's like, yeah. So once he pays the money, right, he gives him the money, and the guy's like, he's like, I'm not going to lie, I can't go through these 5 dossiers. Can you just be honest with me? I've paid you everything. The guy just laughs. He's like, I'm going to be honest. You're such a nice guy. Do you want me to just tell you the truth? He's like, yeah. He goes, listen, that 5 dossiers is just us telling you that guy talks to that guy, talks to that guy, but no work is done in this building. So then the guy's just like, bun this. He just fires everyone, sells the building. And you know what the mad thing is? You know, the company itself doesn't get affected. So that whole building worth of people was just a money sink. They weren't doing anything. The production chain doesn't get affected. The sales don't get affected. Everything just carries on as it was.
So he made the right call then?
He made the right call, but the thing is, how bloated... like, big businesses are so bloated. It's like what you're saying. Like, businesses are going to have to learn to be so much more efficient. Like, in times like this... with
loads of that streamline. They'll be like, okay, why do we have this person for this role?
Because they're more desperate now. Or not desperate, but they've been put in a difficult situation. Like, that guy, he just shedded like a building worth of people.
It could be someone in management, someone that's doing something dodgy, and let's get some of our boys employed and earning money for doing that.
Yeah, I think Corona's really highlighted that for a lot of businesses.
Yeah, people get desperate. Yeah.
Like when they're against the wall and money's not adding up, they're really like, yo, we need to figure out, you know, who can we cut and who's not pulling their weight.
We went on a really big tangent.
Yeah, we did.
We went from Wiley and Kane Hopkins to some guy in Wall Street.
Yeah, back to Wiley then.
Back to Wiley. Do you think he can recover from this?
Yeah, if he wants to, but I feel like his career's been over for a while.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Like, for example, Skepta came up around about the same time as Wiley, and he's still relevant. Like, when he releases a song, it's still a banger, it still gets quite a bit of attention. Apparently he's going out with Adele, we don't know. You know what I mean? Wiley, no one cares anymore.
No.
I think Skepta's got more music that's more listenable.
Yeah, because like he's adapted more. But you know when they started, I remember Skepta came up on dissing Wiley, and Wiley did Skepta, and they had like a 5-track dissing war with like Barnet and Welcome to Something, I can't remember, and they came from the same place. The point of making it, and Skepta's had managed to adapt, and Wiley hasn't. He's just been left behind.
He was just raw grime, wasn't he?
He never adapted.
It's changing now, isn't it?
Yeah. The scene's not the same.
So I don't really care if he does come back from this.
The worst thing is I don't either.
Yeah, I mean his fans probably will, the Wiley fans, die-hard Wiley fans.
Clearly, there's not a lot of them left.
Yeah. There's a clip where he's like, "What fans?" Because like he had an interview on Sky, and the interviewer asked him like, "What about your fans?" He was like, "No, what fans? I ain't got no fans." He was like, he went on some random like rant.
Is this his clip of when he was after his tweets?
He's like sitting on a park bench.
Apparently, he looks messed up in that.
He's on something.
It's sad to see. I'm not gonna lie. He used to be sick.
They talk about his gotten, what's that award he gets, an MBE or OBE or something?
Yeah, they got rid of that. They got rid of his MBE.
They asked him like, "Oh, what about your MBE?" He was like, Take it back, I don't care.
I don't get that. Like, how can they remove that over some tweets? Like, legit,
comparing him to... saying the bar is just...
Comparing him to Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins does such worse... has done things that are so much worse. And she has not got nowhere near as much stick. Is it because she's white?
Oh yeah, she's got white privilege. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So white privilege probably kicks in.
So why she's continuing
because she's a lady?
Being given a platform to...
She's using that.
Is she still on Twitter?
No, she's been permanently banned now. She was banned before, then she came back. Then they finally permanently banned her.
Thank God.
I had it muted on Twitter.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
whenever it'd come up, I was like, I just can't be asked to read her shit.
She would come on ITV this morning,
Would she?
and I would just get.
I remember that.
headache, man.
Have you seen the thing where she's like, I can't take people who name their children after stuff like countries, and then one of the presenters, I
Oh,
think
India.
it's, yeah, she's
India
like,
was one of them. Yeah.
Suzanne's like, I swear your daughter's named India, and she just gets so flustered. You love those moments, man.
I mean, names come from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Dear, man.
So yeah, Katie Hopkins and Wiley both villains.
You know what? Hopefully, I wish the best for Wiley because he's not as much of a prick as Katie Hopkins is, but
I think there's something wrong with him, so I hope he gets
gets better.
get better soon. Katie Hopkins can just.
Do you think? Real question here. Do you think she's actually like that, or do you think
she's
putting a persona on just because?
She's definitely. Have you seen that video? You know the picture of her going around with the word "cunt"
Yeah.
behind her? Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Yeah, she gives like a full 10-minute speech.
No, but that's what I mean. Do you think it's a persona she puts on because she knows this sells? This is what people know me for.
No,
or do you think that's actual thought process, actual ideology?
I think
that's gotta be her. I mean, to have that as a persona, man, you gotta be really, really good, and to do it for so long.
Ah, that's true.
And to like enjoy the amount of hate you'd get for that is just thingy. But in that video, she doesn't know she's being filmed.
She'd have videos jokes.
I mean, fair play to her for actually dealing with the hate and just living her life and stuff. I mean, she seemed like she's unaffected. I don't know, maybe that's just the front.
Well, she has a lot of outbursts, doesn't she? So,
I mean, you think someone like that is, they say like footballers who get just a tiny bit of hate, or for playing, having a bad game, that could affect them mentally, couldn't they, and their confidence and stuff. But with her, she seems like she deals with it.
I'll just shrug it off.
I think some of it is just like baiting as well. Like she feeds off of that.
Yeah.
It's like, I want this to get a reaction to like fuel her sort of thing.
Be one of those people.
That's a good point.
She's a beta sort of thing. Yeah.
Beta.
The sooner she gets not cancelled, but just
I don't even get this cancel culture. How do you get cancelled? Like what triggers it?
I don't know. Like,
who enforces?
Someone gets offended and that's it. Then it just blows up, doesn't it?
We can't say what we want nowadays.
you have to wait for
But don't worry, the Clear Thoughts podcast will always say what we want.
All these comedians this year that have been cancelled.
Yeah.
And that one comedian recently this week or past couple of weeks.
Dave Chappelle got cancelled, right?
Did he?
Yeah, after that whole Black Lives Matter outburst he had.
Oh, did he? Nah, but he's the GOAT, man.
He's such a GOAT.
He won't get cancelled like that.
No, but they took him down. Like they took down some of his specials. It's just ridiculous, man.
No, there's one comedian, the one that was in Hangover and stuff like that. And he was in like that show, The Goldbergs. Brian Callen. He got cancelled as well because he got accused of rape.
No, but that's a fake cancel. That's a valid cancel.
That's a different.
But the thing is there's no way to prove that he's actually done it, and the way he responded was different to how all the comedians have been accused. He went straight away, Instagram video, look, I didn't. He literally honest, no statement or something
raw footage.
Yeah, just straight away like, look, I didn't do it, and I have the people around me to prove it. That
you know these fake rape accusations, they ruin lives.
It's dangerous, man. It's just
you should get put into prison for just as long as a rapist would for a fake rape accusation. Genuinely, because it ruins lives. Like people, like I was reading. You know how people take people out who are put in wrongly accused. The guy did like 23 years or something for like aggravated rape and assault or something. I can't remember what it was. He probably had a bad judge. And afterwards they let him out because they were like, our bad. It wasn't you. And the girl fakely accused him, just nothing. How is that possible?
I know, but then you don't want to take away from girls, actually, the real victims speaking up. You want them to speak up more, don't you?
Yeah, but it's the ones that who are making those fake cases that are detracting from
the real witnesses.
They're ruining
so
it
it's
for
like,
everyone.
I don't know.
Some just want to get fame or they really hate someone. But talk about that. You said the prison thing. I saw this thing on this Netflix trailer of this guy who was wrongly accused of something. He was put in prison for 20 or something years, like for most of his life, and he's come out now because he's proved that he was innocent, and he's doing a documentary of going into different, the worst prisons in the world and just seeing how they are. But that's mad that you get wrongly accused after so long.
That's your life ruined, man. You only get one life, and it's gone.
That's it.
So it might, if it's in your life, say your early 20s,
prime years.
So your early 20s, so you're in prison for 25 years. So your job, your
You
get
can't.
property,
Those are your
have
prime
kids.
years.
Those are your prime years. You
that's
can't
what
do
I'm saying.
much after
In
it.
your 20s, I'm not saying if it happens in your 60s, like okay, whatever, but
Still peak.
yeah, in your in your 20s, like your whole life ahead of you.
Guys, the whole prison. Firstly, like people death row.
Yeah.
Right. Just a quick tangent. What's our opinion on the whole? Firstly, death row, and secondly, prison system as a whole.
I'm not clued up on the whole prison system.
Like in America,
Yeah.
we could discuss this at length another time. But like for example, in America, it's a business. You're put into prison, and they use their prisoners as like free labor force. So they're more likely to convict because they want that free labor force, which then generates profits and pays for stuff. And
So
pays
they do
taxes.
like the community service and all that.
Yeah.
Is that what you're about?
It's just the system's against you. The system needs people in prison. So at certain points, there's a quota that they have to fill in.
But what would you do if someone is convicted of a crime? Would you not say what are the messages there of punishment?
Instead of prison and instead of death row, because death row in itself is difficult, maybe something more suited to rehabilitation, not just locking someone in a room.
But then you'd still have, say, someone has committed murder.
Yeah.
How are you going to rehabilitate that guy without
Oh, okay.
cutting them off from society? You're not going to put them back.
I'm not saying don't not cut them off. Cut them off. I
Yeah.
agree with that. Like for example, Australia. I'm pretty sure they just shipped away prisoners that they couldn't deal with in the UK, and that was the Australian state.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just saying find an island,
Yeah,
ditch one an island.
Yeah. No. Like segregate them from the rest of society, but
Yeah.
think of a better way than just locking them in rooms. Like, that doesn't help anyone develop.
I mean, because there will be some that deserve second chances in it.
Yeah.
They made a
Shawshank
mistake.
Redemption, man. What
Yeah.
if they? What if they're wrongly accused?
That doesn't happen in that film. Oh wait, no, it does.
He does, man. Andy's wrongly
Yeah,
accused.
it does. My bad. It's been
Andy
ages.
Dufresne. That's just some thoughts we had. But yeah.
Very clear and concise. Call them clear thoughts.
Yeah. Is that how we finished for this?
So we're gonna end every episode because we're called Clear Thoughts with a clear thought, a brilliant idea thought by Mr. Side.
Clear
So
thoughts,
Side,
guys.
we'll hand over to you.
Nice
For the
actually.
moments that in life that are big. So guys, I think our clear thought for today is we were discussing a word. The word is sonder, and it's actually not a real word. It was coined by John. Koenig.
Good old Johnny.
Long day. John Koenig, and so he did a project called the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, and how it works is he wanted to come up with words for emotions that haven't been expressed. So like an emotion that doesn't have a word, he's going to put a word for it, and he came up with this word sonder, which is the profound feeling of realizing that everyone, including strangers that you pass on the street, everyone has a life that's as complex as your own, and everyone's life, like they're living it even though you're not aware of it. And I thought that was a really interesting thought to have, because it lets you just appreciate how we just pass people on the street, but their life's just as complex as ours. They have so many things happening just as much as ours, and it just makes you really think like how we kind of are just cogs in a bigger project. And that was my kind of thought and opinion on it.
And you sometimes do forget to think about, another person.
Other
what they're
people,
going
yeah.
I think this year's kind of highlighted it a bit.
If anything,
So
yeah.
just being in isolation away from everyone. It's like how little we are in the grand scheme of things.
And it kind of highlights how much we need other people. Like humans
Yeah.
as a
Like being
thing.
apart has actually made us grow closer together.
yeah,
in
'cause
some way.
humans are social creatures. They need other people. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Obviously, you get the outliers, but generally speaking, humans need other humans.
Yeah.
So yeah, our thought of this week is sonder, and it's something we want everyone to think about, and just comment below about it.
Comment below. If so, we should be on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. So yeah, all the main streaming platforms. And did I say Spotify?
Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify.
We should be on Spotify. So if you are listening, leave a rating, leave a comment. Yeah, just let us know if any topics you might want us to talk about, any discussion points or whatnot, and we'll incorporate into our show. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you to Saeed and Avi for
being here. Thanks for the technical support.
I mean, that's what we're doing this for, is just to kind of discuss things that's going on in the world, and just dissect it and just share our opinions on it. Obviously, don't follow our opinions, you know. I mean, don't judge that too much. Everyone has
all our opinions are our own.
Yeah, but we're just, you know, just putting it all out there on the table.
Obviously, we want you guys to as well.
As the podcast says, you know, clearing our thoughts.
Perfect. Clear your thoughts below.
Follow our Instagram and all that good stuff. We're trying to take this a bit more seriously than last time. So yeah.
Or RIP Chart podcast.
Yeah, RIP Chart
podcast. To remember you, bro. Chart talk.
Chart podcast.
We never got chart talk.
Never had tea in the end.